Thanks for tuning in to the second part of our interview with Master Kelly D'Alessio. If you haven't seen part 1, you may want to check that out first. Enjoy the show.
Is the best thing that could happen to you.
Absolutely.
Because until you know what it's like to lose, how do you appreciate winning?
Yeah.
So,
and I agree, because this individual is, oh my gosh, he's excelled at everything he's done. I mean, he's phenomenal.
Yes.
I mean,
what an athlete.
Exactly.
Whew.
It's like, damn, I wish I was that good when I was his age. And it's like, he's never really struggled with anything like that.
Yes.
So it's like every now and then you just need to get knocked on your ass, and it's like, yeah, that's how the rest of us have to learn, sir. It's like, it doesn't come easy all the time.
Oh, well, I've had that happen to me at tournaments, and learn a lesson when you're 50 years old. You can. I had been around for a long time, so I was taking first place in a lot of tournaments.
Yeah, you always cleaned house in the Black Belt Forms division.
And so I needed a lesson. I did this form, and for whatever reason, I didn't place at all. And I just thought, oh, I'm horrible, I'm terrible, or the judges are terrible, or something. But it kind of made me think, hey, they've got a point. I've got some growing to do, and I need to be a better sport, for heaven's sakes.
I was the exact opposite of Kelly. Like, I lost at everything, and I barely won something maybe like 5 years ago. But it was like for 15 years, I was always getting my teeth knocked in. I was like, this sucks. And that, again, yeah, when you lose, it's very difficult to come back and be like, well, I need to do that again, because you feel like you just got humiliated, or you feel like you got beat up, or whatever the case may be. And then to be like, well, let's sign up and do that again.
Yes.
That takes a special kind of mental toughness and grit to be able to be like, yeah, it may not go my way, but here we go again. Let's see what we got.
I have this one kata that I've done at several tournaments.
Hey, guys.
Hey. So, I have a form that I've never taken a first place trophy with, and very athletic, and I'm 65 years old, and getting ready for the last tournament, my instructor said, so what form do you want to do? And I said, well, I've got to keep doing this one, because I've never won with it. And someone else said, well, doesn't that mean you're just bad at it? Should you pick something else? And I thought, no, this form is not going to beat me. So I may be doing that form until I'm 90 years old.
Which one is that?
Oh, it's Snake Fist.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that real quick.
Okay.
Hey, completely off topic, but I agree. Okay, so Snake Fist, I agree. Super, super athletic form. Like, you're like hopping in push-up position, forward rolling, all this nonsense. And you learn it at like one of the higher, it's one of the last forms you learn.
Yes.
Okay, so it's like, yeah, let's teach this athletic form to a bunch of older people that are like struggling to like even do a push-up at this point. It's like, who thought that this was a good idea?
Maybe, who knows, but yes.
It's probably Master Lenton. I'm calling you out, sir, because you're just a freak of nature and can do anything you want.
An 18 to 25-year-old
yes, exactly.
Form.
Exactly. So, like, people here like Todd would be great at it. Okay. Luke would be really good at it. People in West Jordan, like Sensei Eddie, would be really good at it. You know,
one of the final moves you do after a jump spinning crescent kick is a donkey kick, which I have trouble doing on my best days. But
Yeah, donkey kicks suck.
oh, but at the very end of a form, when you're totally gassed anyway. Oh,
Yeah, it's at the very end, not the beginning.
no, it's the end. But I don't care. To me, it's a challenge, and so I'm.
And
gonna
that's
keep at it.
why you are where you are.
Oh.
Because truthfully, like, a lot of people would take that and be like, "Oh my God, are you serious? Like, there's no way. Like, I'll just move on. Like, I can't do that." But yeah, no, you're like, okay, this is tough now, but like, all right, let's do this. Like,
Sure.
I'm gonna conquer this thing.
Yeah, why not? It's that's. I think I come by it naturally. My 90-year-old mother, who's in a retirement community, has the nickname Speedy.
Speedy.
Speedy. When I walk next to her, I have to pick it up.
Really?
Because, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's an animal. So thankfully, I have good genes.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, for like most people, when you think 65, right?
Right.
Okay, 65. You have this mental image of what 65 is in your head. Okay, I have a very warped reality of age because I have people like her and Master Lenton who's 67. Okay, and it's like, oh, okay, you guys are in your 60s, you're full of it. No, you're not. Because of the way that you constantly are still loose and flexible.
Yes.
You move around very well. You're not rigid and stiff. I mean, it's a very inspiring sight to see. So,
and it's actually, well, I can only really speak for myself, but I've seen it in a lot of other people. Just keep moving.
yeah,
It's not impossible to do. I teach a senior martial arts class at one of our healthcare community centers.
which, by the way, there are a bunch of great guys there.
Oh man, they are so terrific. But they have improved. They've improved in flexibility and balance. There was one really nice lady who couldn't stand on one foot. She'd have to hang on to a cane or a bow staff or something, and now she can kick. She can do 3, front kick, back kick, side kick.
Really?
On one leg.
Oh, dang.
Yes. So she just thanks me. Oh man, my life is so much better, and it is.
And it's just by doing, I don't want to say simple things, but being willing to do the things.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing, because like I look at I look at my parents, and unfortunately, they're like 66, 67, but they're dealing with some health issues. So, like my mom unfortunately has MS, and she's becoming very limited in her being able to move by herself.
Yes.
And she would give anything to get up and move around, like helpless, like with no help at all.
Yes.
And then you have other people, like my dad, for instance, who, he's had his health issues. He's got a replaced liver. He just got his hip replaced. Yeah, so he's had kind of a laundry list of health issues since he was 18. And he just sits in his chair all day.
Yes.
And I'm just like, oh, Dad, you need to get out of the chair. And he's like, well, it hurts. And I was like, well, yeah, because you've been in the chair all day. So, of course, it's going to hurt when you get out of the chair because you're stiff. But you need to move around. Nothing crazy, like, hey, go on a walk down the street and then come back. Start with that.
Absolutely.
Or walk up and down your driveway. I mean, you got a long enough driveway. You do that twice, you're like good to go. Like, go back and watch your shows, But a lot of people think that it's got to be this big commitment. It's like, no, just a little bit every day goes a long way. I mean, it's kind of like that coin phrase, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. It's like,
it's just getting some oil to your...
Getting oil to the joints.
Yes, exactly. You don't have to go run a marathon.
No.
absolutely agree. We have these retreats up in the mountains, the dojos put on, and I was always thinking, oh man, that hike up Rock Canyon just gets tougher and tougher every year. So I said, you know what? I'm at work. We're in an 8-story building. I'm just gonna, a couple times a day, walk up those 8 flights of stairs. And I did that every day for a couple of months. And when it came to the walk, or the hike up to the campground, I kept saying, so when is the hard part? Isn't it supposed to be hard by now? And so I didn't even realize walking up some stairs a couple of times a day made
just
huge
a huge
gains.
difference.
Yes, and I didn't even realize it was happening.
Yeah.
I did
And
the same
that's
thing
the
at my
fun
work.
part. Yeah. So speaking of the retreats.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yes,
Oh.
for those of you guys that do not know, yes, as Kelly was describing, every year, except for last year. Last year was one of the first years in a long time that we haven't done it.
Yes.
We always go up to a part in the Uinta Mountains. I think it's in the Uintas.
Yes.
Called Rock Canyon.
Yes.
Rock Canyon Campground. We rent out the entire campground. It's just for us crazy karate people. And we do all sorts of outdoor stuff. Master Lenton started this back in... Did you go on the first one?
I did not go on the first one, but they were still doing them when I started.
Yeah.
And I went on 2 before they took a little break from them, and they were a little bit different in that, and I think it has to do, things change, with liability type issues.
Yeah.
Because we were rappelling
Yeah.
off cliffs. I'd never rope climbed in my life, and that was really amazing. And playing real paintball
Yep.
in
Yep. In the woods.
Yes.
Yeah, Master Lenton bought all the ropes and all the paintball guns, and
And
yeah,
nowadays we do play. What is that with the Nerf?
archery tag.
Yes. Totally safe experience.
Honestly, archery tag is a really fun thing because you're running around and you're actually using actual bows and actual arrows, but on the tip of the arrow is a big old Nerf foam tip. So I mean, they don't travel super, super fast, but they don't travel slow either.
It's not the old Christmas story. You're going to put your eye out.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to put your eye out. Exactly. So...
but, oh, man, these retreats, I think then and now, the most exciting thing are the instructors that you get to meet that come from other dojos, from out of town. I think the last retreat we had, which was 2 summers ago, we had Grandmaster Larry Tatum.
Yes.
Who is just a legend, and he taught, I believe, 7 classes.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to go and kick some of the teenagers in the bum because they were up there playing card games when he was giving a seminar, and I said, you don't realize what you're missing.
Yes, I remember that. A lot of people were not taking full advantage of Grandmaster Tatum while he was there.
Man,
and it was a little sad.
Oh,
it was a little sad.
I did. Well, he's so humble and soft-spoken.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he had a superhero cape on, but he could have. I mean, he's
so if you've never heard of Grandmaster Larry Tatum, just YouTube him.
Yes.
Okay, he has loads of videos. He is a phenomenal martial artist, and he's in his 70s.
Yes.
So again, another reason why my perception of age is all screwed up. Because you look at this guy, and the dude moves faster than anybody I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know really good martial artists, and then I saw him move, and I was like, holy cow.
Were you there when he did that one demonstration where he lightly touched that man in the face?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Everyone was stunned, like, whoa.
Yeah, and I knew he had some power behind him, but I remember I asked him a question, so he did a, we were doing a lapel grab escape, and he did this move on my arm, and I felt it instantly, and I knew that if he really tried to do it, my arm would be useless.
Oh.
And you're just like thinking to yourself, holy crap, like.
And to him, it's nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
Yeah.
It was effortless.
Move.
Yeah. All of a sudden, the next thing you know, you're like, okay, then he's like, whap, and you're like, oh God, my arm, is it still there?
Cord of blood falls out on the floor.
Exactly.
Take the arm, let me live.
Yep.
So, can you imagine having 7 classes with this guy, plus all the food you could want and other fun activities for, how much was it?
Oh, yeah, it was like $250. It was ridiculous.
I know. It's just insanely.
Usually he
value.
charges like $500 for one class, one seminar. I mean, and he's well worth it too.
Oh, yeah.
And it's more than worth what he charges for a class. And
that's just 1 year. Year after year,
Mm-hmm.
we have masters from California and Nevada and Colorado and all over the place, just bringing different ideas and sort of their take on things.
Yep. I remember one year Master Murakami was up there. He actually got altitude sickness.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he had a massive headache and was nauseous because he's always at sea level.
Oh,
and
of course.
Then all of a sudden he comes up and he's way above sea level.
Oh.
And then he goes up even higher than that. He's like, his body wasn't really prepared for it, so he had to like just take some aspirin and take a nap and just kind of take it easy for a while.
And he was so sweet. He didn't. I mean, I was oblivious. I didn't know.
Well, we're hopefully going to have him on the podcast next month when he comes by for All-Star Weekend. So
he's another just amazing martial artist with so much to teach us. He just moves in a way and has trained in different disciplines, and so just brings so much to the table. And the fact that we get to go up and spend 3 days with them, that's
we definitely get to take advantage of the fact that we have this great pool of people to draw from. So
yes, but the retreats, I really want to see him again. I think maybe the problem is that people don't want to camp.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've got a generation of people that think camping is staying in a cabin or a trailer.
With the satellite dish.
Yeah, with TV and Xbox readily available. And it's like, they have to have their running water. And it's like, come on. It's like, it's okay to spend a night in a tent. It's okay to use like an outhouse type bathroom.
Sure.
You won't fall apart if you don't shower for a day and a half. Like, relax, people.
Bring some baby wipes.
Exactly. Wipe down the hot spots and you're good to go. Okay. But yeah, no, I hope we can get back to doing the retreats again. Those are honestly always some of the funnest parts of the year for me.
Oh,
as
yeah.
Well.
I mean, we have all kinds of, there's Shaolin Training Day.
Yeah, Shaolin Training Day.
Which is a fantastic summer activity just out at one of the parks. We learn something new and interesting, usually a weapons form, and we've had out-of-state instructors come and teach those. And
we got All-Star Weekend.
Barbecue.
Yeah, we got All-Star Weekend coming up in a couple of weeks.
Oh, and that's going to be good.
That'll be good, yep. It's a sparring, board breaking, snake test, dragon test.
And I still get nervous at some of these. Board breaking. Ugh.
Yeah, we don't want to bust up our hands, that's for sure. Open-handed stuff.
1 year I thought, I know, I'll just break them with my elbow. I have some learning to do there.
So speaking of the board breaking class.
Yes.
Okay, I don't even remember how long ago it was. I'm thinking it was probably about 6 years ago because it was at the old Jordan Landing location.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a student who signed up for it. Her name is Ellen.
Okay.
Hopefully Ellen listens to the show one day. Ellen, I think, lives in Oregon now. She went to school at the University of Oregon. I think she just stayed out there. She was a brown belt, and it was her... Was it her senior year? No, it wasn't her senior year. But she had a violin solo the following week. And I was told her, I go, you be very, very careful with your hands, please.
Yes.
I'm like, don't do anything stupid. Just palm the boards. That's it. Like, I don't want to hear of you doing anything ridiculous or wild or nothing like that.
Ooh.
So I go around and I'm helping out other people. I come back to her and she's holding her hand.
Oh, no.
And I go, what did you do? She's like, I thought I could punch it.
Oh.
And her hand was swollen. I'm like, Ellen, your mom is going to kill me. I go, is it broken? She goes, I don't think it's broken, but it's swollen.
Oh.
I go, what were you doing?
And was that
she
her
goes,
bowing hand or her...
I don't even remember.
Oh.
I think, I can't remember which one it was.
Nice.
I go, what were you doing? She goes, I saw everybody else punching it and breaking it. She's like, oh, it looks so easy. I'm going to do it. And I didn't do it.
Oh.
I worried all weekend that she broke her hand and her mom's going to kill me because she can't do her violin solo. Because I think she ended up getting a scholarship to the University of Oregon for orchestra. And like, she was taking all sorts of, violin classes.
Oh, sure.
So she was extremely talented. And luckily she didn't break her hand. It was just sore. Her solo went fine. And I told her, I go, you gave me heart failure. I feel like I aged like 10 years going from when you hurt your hand to when you finished your solo. But...
Oh, man. And being an instructor... You come to care so much about the students.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is martial arts. Someone is going to punch you too hard at some point.
Yep.
But, boy, we don't want to see anybody
it's very... I don't want
to...
I don't want to keep using the term, like, family, but you do end up looking at these people as your family.
I really do. And, some people... have to leave sometimes for, they move or whatever circumstances may happen. And it breaks my heart. I miss them. And have to know why. Why are you leaving?
Yeah.
How could you do this?
And I think most people don't understand this. I think the people that do understand this, and I'm not comparing us to them, so just want to make that clear, is people that are like either in first responders, law enforcement, or military. When you feel like you've gone through like a combative situation with somebody, like you've quote unquote gone to war with them,
yes,
you're very much bonded with them. And I equate that to people that you test with.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Like, I guarantee you remember everybody who was on your black belt test.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, heck. We went to Knott's Berry Farm after and rode roller coasters.
There you go.
Had our picture taken in the Old West clothing thing. And
Yep. So it's like, when you go through situations like that, it really bonds you together. And there's no other way that you can develop that deep of a relationship unless you've done it yourself with someone else.
Yes.
It's like, I still remember everybody that was on my black belt test because I wasn't even supposed to test for black belt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, there's a story.
Yeah, so it was back in 08. It was June of 08. I was a second brown. Okay, so we were going to have a brown and black belt test.
And you supposedly had one more level of brown.
I did. I was supposed to test for brown. I went there testing for brown. Okay, so I was supposed to get my third brown, and then you test for black. Okay, so I'm testing. There's maybe 9-10 of us max in there. Okay, so it's very small. Russell's running it.
Lots of attention.
Yeah. We're about 3-4 hours in, and then we start sparring. we go outside in the back of the old West Jordan dojo,
Uh-huh.
and we start sparring, and Philip was on my test.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
Philip Tolman. Okay. Love that
Great
guy
guy,
to death. I hope
yes.
he's doing well. In fact, I should probably reach out to him. We started sparring, and we would spar each other all the time because we trained in the same dojo, this and that. So we're sparring, and I was able to pull off a very good jab cross roundhouse kick combo.
Ooh.
But my foot hit a little too hard to his head.
Oh.
And, of course, Russell didn't have us have gear on. So we're sparring with no gear. And I literally felt the instep part of my foot go right into his temple. And I was like, oh, that was such a good shot. But it was probably a little too hard. Because right after I kicked him, I gave him a hug and I grabbed him. And he goes, what are you doing? I'm like, you're about ready to fall over, dude.
Oh.
He's like, no, I'm not. And Russell's like, Mark, let me have him go over there, turn around, and go down. And I'm like, oh, crap.
Oh.
Because what's one of the rules is
Don't hurt
safety.
somebody.
Don't hurt
Yes.
somebody. If you hurt somebody, you fail the test. So in my mind, I'm like,
That's
wow, that's it. I just if I just knock somebody out on a test, that's unacceptable. So I'm like, I failed. All right. So I proceeded to do the rest of the test with the mindset that, well, it doesn't matter. I failed anyway. So I ended up relaxing and looking way better than if I didn't do that. So I'm going around doing my test, doing my thing. Because again, in your mind, you're like, okay, at this point, it's just a good workout.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I wasn't going to pass because you knock somebody out, you don't pass your test. So, so it's the end of the test. You know, you do the whole kneel down and meditate thing, and you can tell when someone's in front of you.
Yes.
You can tell when there's no one in front of you. For everybody that says, oh, no, they can't tell. Yeah, they can tell. They're not
Sure.
stupid. So I'm kneeling down with my belt behind me, and nobody came behind me and put my belt in front of me. And nobody put a certificate in front of me.
Oh.
So I'm thinking, okay, well, you knew this already. Calm down. Don't get upset.
Don't cry.
Don't cry. Yeah, exactly. Hold it in. Wait till you get to your car. It's fine. Like, you'll just come back in 6 months or whatever and just try again. Okay? So then obviously, all right, open your eyes. Nothing's in front of me. So you're just like, feel a little defeated. Okay? Even though, because the test was like 6-7 hours at this point.
Oh, boy.
So I was like,
They were long.
Yeah, they were long. They were very, very long. And then Russell goes, all right, if you don't have a belt in front of you, stand up and go against the back wall. And I looked to my right to where the black belts, the people testing for black were. They didn't have a belt in front of them either.
Oh.
So I looked, and then I looked back, and I looked at Russell, and I go, well, what do I do? He's like, get your ass up and go against the back wall. And I was like, okay. And then you get up and you run against the back wall, and then you proceed to keep on testing. And then we do the whole kneeling down again about 2 hours later, and he goes, all right, everybody open your eyes, and everybody else has got a black belt in front of them except for me.
Oh.
And I'm like,
punch-in dummy for 2 hours?
yeah, I was like, okay, well, you're a dumbass, and you hurt somebody during the test, so you kind of deserve it.
Oh.
So Russell's going through giving everybody their stuff, and he looks at me and he goes, well, Mark, I was not planning on you testing for black, but you look so good that I could not give you your black belt today.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I was like, okay. He goes, come back later, and I'll have a black belt for you.
Oh.
And there was an advanced test later that afternoon. So I show back up with my red belt on, and he takes me in the back office at the West Jordan School. He goes, take that off, put this one on.
Oh, man.
And I was all like, oh, are you serious? He goes, yeah. He goes, you look really good. And I go, he goes, you looked really good after you knocked Philip out. And I was like, really? And
After you relaxed?
I was all like, probably. I go, honestly, I thought I failed the test. He goes, you would have failed the test if you didn't look as good as you did. And I was like, interesting. Okay. So it's one of those things to where it's like, even if you feel like you're not going to get it, you just keep going through it anyways, because
Wow.
the worst that's going to happen is what you already thought of anyways.
That is true, and what a great memory. Jeez.
So again, it's like those are those battles that you go through to where it's like those people are bonded with you forever.
Yes.
It's like I'll always be a part of Philip forever, and you know, when
and
you,
to share that moment with him.
yeah, and like any other black belt test you've done, like you have those stories or those memories that's where it's like, oh man, back in my day when. You know, I hate to say that, but the truth of the matter is, and you probably had worse tests than I did also.
They were, well, long,
Yeah.
for one thing. It wasn't unusual for a test to go, well, I think my black belt test must have been 8 to 9 hours outside in California in a parking lot. So lots of hot asphalt.
Yeah.
And I think that they gave us 1 Dixie cup of water after the first person passed out. And that was normal.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, how many people passed out on your test? But now,
you can't do that.
No, I don't think that
No,
would be a
that's
good
not very
thing.
smart.
Well,
We tend to work smarter, not harder.
plus, we are a business.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many students you would keep.
Having an 8-hour black belt test.
Yes, let's see
Or
how
even
many people
feeling like
grow
they
up.
could pass an 8-hour black belt test. I mean, truthfully, and you can probably attest to this too, it's like you get to the point where you're so exhausted that you don't know how you're still moving.
Yeah, well, right. Or your brain is functioning. Okay, now that it's 6 hours in and you're tired, let's see this advanced form.
You're like,
oh. I wished I had tested in China at some point. I went on 2 trips to China where we studied with the Shaolin monks in the Shaolin Temple, and many people had the opportunity to test for their black belts there. And
what years did you go to China?
I went on the first trip,
Okay.
which was in 2000, and then 9 years later, and 2019. So only had to have 1 passport. And it was amazing the difference between the 2 trips and the changes in the country. Holy cow. Talk about smog.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's something that I can never claim that I had the ability to go to, is go on a China trip. Because every time they came up, it was like the worst timing for me.
Oh.
Yeah. Because they went on one in like 06, right? It was either 05 or 06. And I just started like in 05. And then when they went in 08 or 09, I was an assistant. And the head instructor was all like, I'm going, you're watching the dojo.
Yes.
So it's like,
yeah,
this is crap.
Yes,
Not fair.
The first trip was interesting because we hadn't done it before. And so everything was sort of an experiment. Oh, man, they packed so much into that trip.
Yeah.
It was, I remember trying to stay awake while the Chinese opera was singing.
You're like, I just want to go to bed.
No, it's lovely.
Please,
but,
this is great, but the bed sounds way better. Yeah, I did hear that the food on the first trip was awful.
Oh, boy. And that was an interesting way to... you had to be humble because we were getting scorpion tails and rooster claws and all, these exotic
weird
things. And we thought, yeesh, this is not very good. But they were actually giving us just the primo
the best
delicacies.
The best.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so to our Chinese hosts, they were treating us like gold. And we were going, yuck, where's McDonald's? I need a hamburger. So
I think that's why everybody should have the opportunity to go out of country in some form or fashion, because it really kind of solidifies how good and how well we do truly have it here in the States. it
Yes.
opens you up to different ideas and different thought processes. And food, it's like, what we think is disgusting, like other people are like, this is the greatest thing on earth. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you like scorpion tails?
Exactly. Then they come to the United States and they're like, oh my God, you guys eat this crap? It's like, seriously? It's all preservatives and like artificial sweeteners, you know? So like, I think the China trip was a great thing for...
It was very eye-opening.
Yeah.
Well, for one thing, just how old their civilization is. You know, we went to some museums, and I know that doesn't sound exciting, but to look at a beautiful brass vase that's 5,000 years old just humbles you. These people have been advanced.
Yeah,
you know, for
exactly.
thousands of years before our country was even an idea.
Exactly. And we forget how young
Yes.
our country actually is.
Gosh.
It's like, we're not even 300 years old, are we?
No.
Yeah. I mean, 1776. I mean, it seems like a long time ago. Not when, like, there's buildings in China that were built in the, BCs?
Yes, and you can see the divots of so many footsteps that have...
That's one thing that I heard with
stones.
the temple is there were rooms, where there were actual craters from where people would practice forms.
Yes.
And stomping so much and so hard for so long a time, it created little craters.
It was like rocks in a stream, just worn smooth, and also the surrounding area. You've probably seen those fields of young people doing martial arts that are in these schools. When we were there in the area surrounding the temple, they said there were 50,000 children in these martial arts schools.
50,000?
50,000 kids. And our bus was parked outside one of the shopping areas one time, and there was a martial arts school there, and the kids actually were on a break. They had in one hand a slice of watermelon and the other hand a fly swatter. And, well, they sort of had open sewers going on there, so it was needed. But we could see into one of the bedrooms that was ground level. They were sleeping in bunk beds that were 4 high, and just conditions
that we would think that are not good and clean.
Yes.
Or just normal daily behavior.
And it was just an honor for them to be able to attend these schools and live there. And so just way different way of life.
Exactly. Well, Kelly, I appreciate you taking the time to come out here.
Thank you.
Kind of share some of your experiences and your wealth, even though you're not going to think this, but your wealth of knowledge in both like life and the art itself.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that so much, and you're right. I always think I'm not worthy. There's so much to know.
There is, but at the same time, like, you are definitely one of the few that is definitely worthy of the title, like master.
Well, thank you. Thank you very, very much. And
just not only
for having me.
It's been a pleasure talking with you. We hope to have you on again later on in the future so we can hear more stories. But Kelly teaches in the West Jordan School every now and then, and you teach at that Optimize Health Center.
Yes, out in West Valley.
Out in West Valley, if you ever want to...
55 plus.
Yep, absolutely. If you ever want to get in contact, if you're a little bit on the older side and you want to get started training, Kelly's the one to talk to.
Never too late.
Exactly. So again, remember, make sure to check us out on Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Again, we're still trying to figure out the whole iPodcast or iTunes thing, but we'll get that figured out one of these days. Make sure to like and subscribe for us, and share the show. We're not really going to be running any ads or anything, like I said. We're just a couple of guys that are, trying to make the world a better place, and hopefully we can give you some fun stories that make you think and make your day a little bit better in the process. But Kelly, again, I appreciate you coming on out. We really appreciate everything you've done and will do, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. So thank you for taking the time, and make sure to kick it back with us next time.
Kick it with us next time. Bye, everybody.